Protected Health Information, or PHI for short, is central to every HIPAA issue. This tutorial will help you distinguish PHI from other private information. The definition of protected health information is a general provision of Part 160. PHI is individually identifiable health information that's collected from an individual and is created, received, transmitted, or maintained by a covered entity. IIHI and PHI are interchangeable terms. IIHI is a subset of PHI. PHI relates to an individual's health conditions, medical services, or payments, and the information is adequate to identify the individual person. Identifiable means there's a reasonable basis to believe the information can be used to identify the individual. PHI includes electronic media and other forms of media, including paper, audio recordings, and digital images. Health information is broadly defined. It could be a paramedic's assessment or records for dispensing prescription products. PHI excludes education records covered by FERPA. PHI also excludes employment records held by a covered entity in its role as an employer. PHI also excludes health information about a person who is deceased for more than 50 years. Now we'll explore the boundaries of PHI in Single Peak, California. Single Peak attracts tourists in the winter. The Pruitt Medical Group takes care of patients injured on the slopes. In the winter, the Pruitts like to dine at the lodge. One evening, Priscilla and Hudson's dinner was interrupted by Officer Oliver.
Doctors, I need your advice. A tourist from the lodge jumped in the pool, and he got sudden chest pain. The manager dialed 911, but the tourist wouldn't talk to paramedics. He says his name is John Doe.
Okay, I'll see what I can do to help.
Eventually, Priscilla convinced John to get a checkup. He agreed to go to the hospital emergency room. The admitting clerk gave John a document to sign.
I don't want my name listed in the facility directory. Don't contact my insurance company either. Put the bill on my credit card.
The privacy rule requires entities to restrict disclosures of PHI if the patient makes the request and pays in full. John Doe was evaluated and cleared for discharge.
Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate your keeping this private. Now I can enjoy the rest of my weekend.
Officer Oliver wrote the police report and wondered if John Doe was okay. He showed up at the hospital, but the admitting clerk wouldn't disclose any information.
Where's the hospital privacy officer? I want to speak with her.
Is there a problem?
I was wondering about the guy who jumped in the ice water. What's his condition?
Well, the patient didn't give permission to disclose PHI. Is there an imminent threat?
I was just curious.
Okay, well, you can ask the patient yourself.
Meanwhile, John was looking to get a good cup of coffee. He was grateful that HIPAA was protecting his privacy. But John Doe didn't know that his story had already leaked out. A newspaper photographer saw him jump into the pool. The next day, John saw his picture on the front page.
Oh no, my privacy's been violated. I'm gonna call a lawyer. Could I speak with Attorney Ann, please?
Yes, I see the article. I can see why you're upset. But I'm afraid your case doesn't amount to a lawsuit.
What do you mean? Doesn't HIPAA protect my privacy?
HIPAA protects an individual person who is the subject of protected health information. This information is from the individual and is created or received by a HIPAA-covered entity. Reporters are not HIPAA-covered entities, so your story isn't protected health information.
Protected health information is individually identifiable health information that's created, received, transmitted, or maintained by a covered entity. Thanks for watching. We have more tutorials coming. Thank you in advance for comments and suggestions.